Hola, this is the second part to, I think, 12 parts of my DM log. So, going back to things, I have a couple things to show you, a couple more classes, and then a new thing that's coming called body modifiers. Body modifiers were a thing towards the end of campaign 2. One of them was the experiment. I think it was called something else before, but we'll get into that. We're gonna look at some classes first. Some classes that we didn't see before, like this one right here, the ill rigor. There's no reason why I was being careful with that one. But this class is that you are a knight from hell. You have a bond with a higher level demon or devil. I like to think of this as the opposite of a paladin. Kind of, paladin in this one, or in my D&D here, is super religious, has power from their oaths that they make. This one is more of a debuffer. They debuff people on the battlefield, and they have these things called seals. So we'll see their passives here. They have hellish skin. You take 10 less damage from fire-based attacks, and you can't have fire-based tick damage. So if you remember tick damage, you just don't suffer fire tick damage. So that's pretty cool. Prompts seal. When a seal ends by itself, it can do 1d6 extra damage to a target or heal you 1d6. So I know that you don't understand seals right now, so seals. I think I said something else, but okay. So seals are these magical burns that show up on targets from your devil or demons. These seals can look like anything. They have different effects, and seals last 3 turns. So when a seal is on a target, you have to use a bonus action, and you have to see the target. But it lasts 3 turns, and if it ends on the 3 turns without it being broken, because seals can be broken, then your passive will activate Promise Seal. So after the 3 turns, you do 6 extra damage, or you heal yourself 1d6. So a target can use its bonus action so when you have a seal, a target has to waste their bonus action to get rid of it. So it's pretty good for the ecom there of wasting someone's bonus action to roll a religious battle with you. So if you roll a religion, they roll a religion. If they beat you, then the seal is broken. If they win, the seal is early. You have 5 seals, so you get 5 uses of a seal. Sorry, you pick 1 seal now, and every 15 levels you get to pick a new one. On every 20 levels you get a new seal. So at max level, you'll have 10 seals, and then at max level you get to pick simple math right now, more than 5, I think. Placing a seal takes a bonus action. In order to place a seal on a target, you have to see them and have at least done 10 points of damage to that target. So you have to see them, you have to do at least 10 points of damage to put a seal on a person, and then use a bonus action on them. So it's a little bit of setup, but we have a couple of seals here. And then for subclasses, you get to choose different seals. So we have seal burning, sealed of binding, seal of explosion, sealed of hurting, seal of choosing, seal of ash, seal of weakening, and seal of healing. So again, a seal lasts 3 turns. So every turn, for seal of burning, every turn a target will take some fire damage of 1d8. So that's cool. Seal of binding, while the seal is on them, they have half movement, and they can't use any extra movement from stamina or abilities. Pretty strong. Seal of exploding is, I like to think, it's pretty cool. Basically, at the end of the 3 turns, if they can't break the seal, then it does 2d10 plus 5 of fire damage in a 10-foot area of the target. Pretty cool. Seal of hurting, take 2 damage and 3 pain from any weapon attacks done to that target. So if 3 people attack the target while the seal is on them, they take an extra 6 damage and an extra 9 pain from damage. So pain is back. I don't know if I mentioned that last video, but pain's back. Seal of Choosing is scary. When a target has this, they have to either pick a bonus action or action every turn. To That's just what the seal does. So if you have the Seal of Choosing, right, and it takes a bonus action to take it off, then they can only choose a bonus action or action. So either they can rip off the thing, or they can use an action to do whatever they may. They can still attack. So there's that. Seal of Ash makes it so they have -5 accuracy while the seal is open. Seal of Weakening, the target does 8 less damage while the seal is there. Seal of Healing, when the target takes 1d3 of damage, and that number will every turn, no matter what, and then that healing will go towards you. You get all seals back when you rest more than 5 turns. Stamina shop looks the same. So now we get into some abilities. Demon Skin, you don't take any fire damage at all, because remember at the top you only take 10 less damage. Ball of Fire, you make small portals, and every target that you have a seal on, a small ball of fire will shoot at them. So if you have multiple seals on the field here, so if one thing to mention is that a target can only have one seal applied to them, so you can't stack seals on targets as well. So cannot. So if you have 3 targets and they have all seals on them, then you make 3 of these small fireballs that goes towards them. Pretty cool. Seal Runner, you grow these devilish wings from your back, and you can fly to a target that has a seal on it. You can fly to the target 100 feet. So kind of like the Paladin, you can grow wings to fly to a teammate. With this, you can fly to an enemy that has a seal on it. So pretty cool. Bonus action, 10 stamina, pretty good. Seal Locked, when a target is trying to take off a seal, you can use your reaction, and they roll the religion with disadvantage, and a set of disadvantage of 2. It takes 20 stamina, but keeping someone locked down onto your seal, I think it's pretty good. Once more, there is when there's a seal on target, you can add 1+ turn to their seal. You must be able to see the target. So if it's really important to you, you can add other turn to it. It might come up, who knows. Offer Up, you get to whisper to your devil and demon that you want to trade mana for some power. You can use this a number of times of using this ability. So it lasts 3 turns, so you get to talk to your devil or demon for 3 turns, right? And you can use amount of mana here to get some extra stuff. So again, you take 10 less damage, you do 10 more damage, and you get 15 plus health. So there's that. A little shop trade for doing extra damage, taking less damage, and healing. So pretty good. Fire It Up, every attack that you make does 1d4 of tick damage. This lasts 4 turns. Forever Flame, when you see a target, that sounds pretty cool, you will have a religion battle with them. If you win, any fire tick damage cannot be removed for 3 turns. So if someone's on fire and tries jumping into water, it doesn't work. The fire is still on them. Seal of Armor, for every seal you have active, you take 10 less damage for 3 turns. So that's pretty good. Hellish Knight, so this is like the Holy Knight from Paladin. You get this large devilish creature behind you, and it can attack, not attack, take damage for you. It's pretty good. Hell Cube is the one that you guys saw in the Discord. I won't read into it too much because you already know where it is. Hell Portal, when you attack, you can make a portal to the next target. The portal can be 50 feet. You can now attack a target from 50 feet, so you can melee through a portal and attack someone from 50 feet away. It's pretty good. It is really, really good, and you do extra 5 points of damage. Seal damage, for every seal you have active, you get 8 plus more damage. This lasts 3 turns. So if you had 3 seals or 2 seals, then you could do 16 more damage for those 3 turns. All Yours, when you see a target die close to you, you can take their soul to hell. So you like sacrifice the soul that you just killed or a target just killed, and when you do that, you get an extra attack on your next turn. So there it is. Firestorm is now we're getting to the high level of abilities. When you use this, you make a 50 by 50 ash cloud that forms any target in the that area, or you will roll some damage and you make a pool of fire damage or fire tick damage for a target to take. So if there's 5 targets and you roll, let's just say 25, oh well, that would be pretty high, but if you roll 25 points of fire tick damage, that means you can split that damage into those 5 targets, or send all that fire tick damage to one single target. So pretty cool. For the next 3 turns, the target will have a set disadvantage on a skill or battle checks based on how much health you give up. So every 10 health you give up on a target you can see, it'll give them a set disadvantage of 1. So if you give up 50 health, then they will have negative 5 in everything for the next 3 turns. So it's interesting. Infernal Orb is simple but fun. You look up to 100 feet of you and you make a portal. From the portal, an orb is made. This orb, it has a 50-foot range and will do 1d8 plus 2 of fire damage every turn on its turn on the target, and will last 6 turns. So this is more better if it's in a building, but as long as this orb is in this building and it has a sight of anything that's in that 50 feet, it'll do that damage. Again, last 6 turns, so pretty cool. Seal Killer. When you see a target with 1 seal, you add a extra 1d6 plus 2 of extra turns on that seal, and it will take an action to try to take off that seal off now. So pretty scary. And Vessel for the demon or devils is very much like the paladin's ability, and it literally just makes it so you move a lot faster, you get more attacks, you take less damage, but you do have to sacrifice your seals for that, like the paladin has to sacrifice its divine tokens for. But overall, I think the class is good. It's quite different from any of the other classes that we currently have as a person that nerfs other creatures, so that's very fun. I'm going to rush through a couple of these other 2 that you guys didn't see before, which is the Artificer and the Blood Hunter, because they are very much different. I'm going to just go very fast between them. So, a passive, they get to reroll the stats of any 2 stats for any weapons. Brain Power, you get to roll 1d4 for intelligence rolls. And Magic Item Collector, usually at 3 slots to tune to magic items, they have 6. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, Artificers now, they get a new thing called a magic item slot. So when you are picking between a magic or ability slot, you get to now, a spell slot or ability slot, you can now pick a magic item slot. What does this mean? You get to make your own magic item. Okay, so you make your own magic item, and there's 5 different rarities: common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. When you make a magic item, you don't automatically have it. You just have the blueprints for it. When you get when you have the blueprints, you can now use gold to form gold into a magic item and give them to your teammates. You can resell them. You can use them on yourself. Very, very cool. So there's different rarities of magic item that you can make. You get to choose, like how you get to choose with spells, you get to choose what size, quote unquote, but for this one, it is what rarity of magic item, so very fun. More customization for players. But Artificers, they get Magic Enchantment, which is kind of the same from Campaign 1. Spark of Genius is quite good. Brain Burst, whenever someone rolls, whenever you roll something on bad intelligence, you can re-roll it with a +3, so that's fun. Tool right for the job, you get to make a magical tool in your hand. There's different examples, but it can be more than just a hammer, saw, or whatever tool you may be, so that's fun. Making object, I like this one. It's a lot better than what it was in Campaign 1, so that's good. You get to make a ladder, a bucket, or a barrel. Like, yikes. Details, you look at a target and you roll a intelligence. If you win, details about them, pick one of the following below. You get to see what class they're playing. If you beat them, what kind of health they have, and it's in fractions now, so you can't see the actual health, and then what race they are. So that's fun. Lock, you get to make a magical lock on jars, boxes, and doors. So that's fun. You get to make a lock, and then the object that you lock is unbreakable. So you can lock a door, and then if they try breaking the door, it just can't break. So that's fun. You get to use that as a action or a bonus action. So if it's not on your turn, and you really need to lock a door when someone's about to enter, you can just lock it. Very fun. You can look at a target, roll intelligence, and they get a couple of negatives in their abilities. Food's coming back. So Smart Consumer was a little goofy last time. It's a little bit better now. You can tell if something's poisonous. You get more food from it, but it's quite useful now. Add-ons, you get to add small add-ons onto your weapons for 24 hours. Quick attunement, you can quickly, if you have a magic item in your hand, you can attune to it for 1d4 plus 1 turn. So if you can't attune to anything, if you run out of attunement slots, you can attune to something extremely fast, which is really cool. If there's a magic item that you don't know how to use, or if you don't know if you want to attune to something, you can waste that slot. This is perfect. Find item. This is different to the Artificer now. You make a 3-mile area around you. While you're holding an item, you can find any copies that are in the area. So if you find a diamond, guess what? You can use this, and it can find more diamonds. Outsmarted. You take less damage and move around more. Mind blow. You add your intelligence to one of your attacks. That's fun. Powered magic item is pretty cool. Instead of like using an action or bonus actions, you now have 3 charges on your magic item that you use this on. Basically, if that magic item has ability or bonus action, you can use a charge instead of a action or bonus action if that's important to you. Yeah, you can brain power. You can roll intelligence on a target, and if you win that intelligence, you get another action on your next turn. I know your weakness, because weaknesses are really hard, especially with the new body modifiers. You get new weaknesses if someone picks up. So Artificer's a real big counter to that. Smarter than you think. Your intelligence is now ×2 the amount for 3 turns. Broken power. You can now break a magic item and turn it into mana in an emergency. So that is very cool. If you haven't seen it, in the new edition of the Player's Handbook, and some videos that are out now, they talked about the Artificer, and they're able to do this. They're in D&D 2024, well now 2025, they're able to break magic items and turn it into spell slots. The Eye of the Genius will give you 3 intelligence under every skill. Every intelligence that you have, will you take 2 less damage now, and you can use your intelligence to add to your damage for 5 turns. So pretty fun. The Artificers definitely changed, and then we're gonna go to Blood Hunter, and then we're gonna look at the body modifiers for that. So Blood Hunter has a new thing now, or a couple of new stuff now. So blood healing, you can now drink from a willing person to heal them. 1 health equals 1 healing for you. Pain, you do not suffer from the pain status, so get rid of that shit. Blood types now are very much different. You don't need to know the blood types to use abilities on people now. Instead, if you know a blood type, you do 4 more damage to them, and you heal 2 damage every time you attack them. So blood hunters are, in that manner, very different. It's simple, but it's the extra damage health is good for especially something like this D&D style, because everyone starts off with 100 health. So doing as much damage as you possibly can on 1 turn, it changes the battlefield a lot. Bloodsucker is pretty simple. You roll strength battle. If you win, you heal and do damage. My body, you can roll intimidation, and then they kind of freeze. For a couple of turns. Bleeding Miss, you make 1 attack on the target. When you attack, you roll 1d8 and times it by 2. That's how much blood damage they take. So again, Blood Hunter is going to do a lot of blood damage, which is good, or bleed damage. Blood Tracker, if you get a taste of the blood here, you can dash towards a target at very high speeds. You kind of know the general facility where they are by smell. Can't Hide is fun. It's kind of like the last ability, but instead your arms and body start moving towards that target, making it easier to hit them from a certain distance. Grim Vision, you taste the blood of a target. You can see 5 minutes in the past. If you use some more blood, you can see 1 more minute in the past. You get rid of some health, and you are able to add certain mechanics to your body here. More blood to the brain, more to the arms, and more to the legs. So pretty cool. My blood. If you have any bleed damage on yourself, you can stop the bleeding and set it to 0 and heal yourself 6 health. So that's really really good. Blood tether. If you taste someone's blood, you can now tether to their body if you win intimidation. And this when this happens, any damage done to you is done to the target. Walking Dead. While you're down, and you crawl on all fours, and you can get an extra 80 feet of movement. So really good if you need to get away. Also, you have a climb speed now, which is fun. So you get to use that for free when you're down for emergencies. Blood weapon. You cut yourself, and you just form a weapon out of your hand. You can either make a bow, a melee weapon, and the melee weapon has a 10-foot reach, which is fun. So there's that. Blood eyes. You make people's eyes just burst into blood, and you blind them for a little bit. They have to roll accuracy over 14 just to hit you, and the target takes 5 damage every turn. Hardened Soul, you get 5 intimidation, which is pretty good in those scenarios, for 5 turns. Blood Hex, you get to pull blood out of the hole of every or pull blood out of every hole out of the creature's body, doing 1+ bleed damage to them. Every turn that lasts, they do 2 more bleed damage. So last 10 turns. So on 4 turns, active will do 9 damage. So it keeps on adding up, and they can make a wisdom to stop it. Blood attack is one of my favorites. You shoot your blood that's coming out of you. So you make these nissels of blood from every 2 every 2 bleeding you're suffering. You make a blood nissel. A blood nissel does 1d6 plus 1. So if you're suffering from 20 bleed damage, you make 10 nissels, and they just get all sent all over the place. It's pretty fun. Blood pack, you use this on a teammate to get rid of bleed damage. Whatever you get rid of equals health. So if a teammate has 20 bleed damage on them, you get to first heal, and then they just get set to 0. So pretty good. Meal, when you use a blood type on your list in a 20-foot area, you get 10 health. So yeah, when you kill a target in a 40-foot area, you get 10 health if they're your blood type. Blood upgrade, you cut yourself and pour blood onto your weapon. Your weapon now does 2d8 damage for 4 turns. Blood block, you get to lose blood, right? So if you lose 50 health from yourself, you take 50 less damage for the next 3 turns. So blood block is pretty good. Our body is very good. You make a simple wisdom. It's a lot of stamina, so if you lose, it's a big sacrifice. But if you're able to get it, you can control a person's body. You can use their actions, their bonus actions, and their attacks. You must be 25 feet away from them. When you do this, your own body can't move. So your body can still be attacked. But yeah. So those are some classes. We'll look at some more classes next time, in the next log. But we're going to go to what you guys are probably wanting to look at, which is body modifiers. Body modifiers affect you either... Well, I still have it set out if they replace anything, but right now, modifiers are something that has happened into your character's life which made their bodies affected. So again, like werewolf or vampire, these are things that your characters might have suffered in their lifetime. Their body modifiers give you new weaknesses, passes, and abilities, and do not you don't need to take a body modifier at all. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So we're gonna look at a couple of them, okay? Not all of them. So we're gonna look at 3 of them. I'm gonna pick my 3 favorite. All of them are really good, very cool, and have different level scalings to them. We're gonna look at the vampire. So you can become a vampire. So because you are this thing, it doesn't mean you can make more of these things. So it says in the first little paragraph here, a vampire lord has the power to make a person into a vampire. They might do this because they need you for blood or a new servant to help them with their goals. So in a story like way, if you want to be a vampire, you serve under a vampire lord of some sort, or maybe your goal is to become a vampire lord. That could be fun. That's super fun. But you're now a vampire, and suffer and benefits come to what that is. I know this paragraph is botched. Again, these are all like demo betas type shit, so a lot of it I'm gonna look at it more, but right now that's what it is. So when you pick up a modifier, no matter what your classes, races, you're going to take these weaknesses no matter what. So for vampire, you have 3 weaknesses that are very generic to vampire, but welcome in. If there's a living thing inside of a building that has 4 walls and a roof, you must be welcomed inside the building. You can be welcomed by anyone who enters the building. If you are not welcome in the building, you take 1d10 plus 3 fire damage every turn until you leave the building that you are not welcomed in. So, 6 seconds go by is 1 turn, technically, in my D&D. So, if you're in there for 18 seconds, you're taking 3d10 of fire damage. So, that's pretty scary. Daylight, if any daylight is touching your skin at any point, you lose half your movement. Also, you have disadvantage on dexterity rolls and skills under it, and you take 5 more damage while you are in the daylight. So that's scary. Vampire body, you cannot see your reflection, and you take an extra 1, and people can't see your reflection, and you take a 1d8 and plus 3 of holy damage. So if you take 1 single holy damage, you take an extra 1d8 plus 3 of holy damage. So you might be thinking, hey Antonio, this is kind of dog shit. Like, these taking these weaknesses is very not beneficial to me. Why would I want any of these weaknesses? I'm trying to do a trade out where either the weaknesses are equal to lesser than what power you actually get from playing such a body modifier. So let's get into that. What do you get from being a vampire except the fucking weaknesses, right? As a vampire, you no longer need sleep or worry about hunger in the traditional way. For sleep, you will be in a state of rest where you can hear everything around you and see everything around you, but you won't be able to move. So you still need time to rest your body and kind of lounge around, but you're able to talk and hear everything around you and see everything around you. For hunger, you won't need to eat normal food. You would need blood to stay alive. So your hunger bar now switches to a blood bar. You can drink blood from your teammates and enemies as well. Blood gives you health and hunger on top of that. When you kill a target, you can drink their blood before it gets rotten, so there's blood rot. For blood to be good, a target must be alive, but this can be small time frame where the blood is not rotten. We'll get into that. So if you kill the creature, you have 2 turns to drink its blood. If not, the blood is considered rotten and won't be nutritious for your vampire needs, so that's fun. If you ever get to 0 on your health hunger, you'll take 2d10 of damage every turn, so every 6 seconds. So you never want to run out of blood. Blood is needed. At the start of the turn, you can use 5 blood hunger points to heal yourself 1d6 for free. Just at the start of your turn, you're able to heal yourself for free if you use 5 of these blood hunger points. You have now night vision of 35 feet. You can become a bat for action and just 15 stamina. The bat, you can fly, obviously. You can't use spells or abilities in the bat mode, obviously, but if you take 15 more points of damage, you get kicked out of the bat mode, but you're basically, for 8 turns, you get to become a bat. That's fun. Now, dying. Dying is fun as a vampire. Vampires are hard to kill. And that is one of the good things about you. Before we get to dying, we're going to look at the vampire's abilities. So, with abilities, when body modifiers come out, you have to have the decision to look at these modifier abilities and they correspond with your ability slots in general. So if you get 6 ability slots, right, when you make a character, you have to replace some of your classes slots with some of your ability modifier slots. A lot of them are pretty good. So let's get into that. You get to make a wolf, you get to become a wolf if you would like to for 5 turns. You get those little things. Black Mist, you get to basically it's like Misty Step. You get to step 30 feet and teleport. Bloodsucker is a lot like the Bloodhunter's ability, where you get to make a grapple check and you get to heal and do damage, and you fill up your blood hunger bar, so that's fun. Hypnosis, you get to hypnotize a target, and you get a 5+ charisma rolls on that. That's fun. Resting place. Now, this connects to dying. you can, or dying as a vampire, you take 3 hours to make a resting place. This resting place could be a coffin, a box, or a hole in the ground, but it must be big enough to have your body laying down. The resting place could be in a range of 150 feet, but you can put 10 health points and add 100 feet to it. You can use this as much health as you want. Others can also add to the range if they're wheeling from the 25-foot box or coffin or hole. So what this means is that this is really fun. So your resting place could be 150 feet, right? You can use 10 points just to make it 100 feet. Now, if you get a group, like if you make a religion or a cult, you can have your followers like circle around your box and get rid of health that you have to increase the range by a lot. Like a lot. Again, characters have 100 health. I mean, if one character gives up all their health, then that's 1,000 feet added to your resting spot. I know you don't know what resting spot does, but we're gonna get to that. So, this will take 3 hours. The whole process of the ceremony is 3 hours in making the resting spot. The resting spot stays there forever until it's broken or you make a new resting place. So there's that. So let's go back to dying. With one of your abilities, you can make a resting place, which we just read. If you die within the range of the resting place, you will become a dark cloud that can move equal to your movement every turn. You have 2 hours to reach your resting spot as this dark cloud. If you don't, you die automatically. Once you reach this resting place, you roll a 1d12 plus 3, and that's how many hours you will need to get your body back. If your resting place is broken in any way, you die automatically in the cloud mode. Once your hours are up, you will have your normal body back, and you'll heal 1d10 plus wisdom. So, the vampire is hard to kill because you have a resting spot that can be somewhere randomly in the city, randomly in a grave, randomly somewhere. Again, the resting spot has to be pretty big, and the ceremony's there, But as long as you dodge those two things, you could be unkillable. It's just that little factoid there. You could be. As a vampire, you do count as an undead, so a paladin might be able to see you and all that. But vampire, pretty cool. Very, very cool. Has, I feel like, traditional vampire-like weaknesses. I think it's fun. We're gonna check out Giant Blood, because I know that, and then Almighty, which is, I think, my favorite, but I don't know, we'll get to it. So Giant Blood by default, you have here, let me explain a little bit more. You get your blood replaced by Giant's Blood. Who knows why? That's just how it happened. And now you get some abilities and weaknesses. So claustrophobic, you get -1 while you're inside of a building. A building can be considered a dungeon, a ruin, a town hall. It can be considered a lot. But you do not get any extra movement from any of your abilities. So if you try dashing, if you try using stamina, if your class gives you extra movement, it doesn't matter. This claustrophobic overruns your ability to move a lot. Limit life. By default, your life is already, you have 15 years to live. That's it. After that, you drop dead. Gonzo, bonzo, bingo, bang, bong, bong, right? So you can use 70 stamina, which is a lot. It's a lot of stamina to give up for one ability, right? Or whatever this is. So you become a size huge, and you look like a inside-out version of yourself. This is very heavily inspired by Attack on Titan. I think that's fucking obvious. You get overhealth equal to your level, you get overhealth, which is temporary health, times by 3. So again, if you're level 15, you get 45 overhealth. So using this at very low levels, it's not necessarily that good. And that's kind of a game mechanic that's in the system. I didn't want it to be hella good in the beginning, but there's that. If you're outside of combat, it lasts 10 minutes. If you're inside combat, every turn it takes away 2 minutes from your giant mode. You also get 30 feet more movement. You can take away a year of your life to add 4 more minutes if you'd like. This takes an action. Also, you get advantage on strength checks and skills under it. You also get a set advantage of plus 3. Once you use this, you can't use this until you take a long rest. 5 turns or more. So turning into a giant, if you use this inside of a building, buildings have layers, you know. So if you grow through a hotel, you will take some damage for every 5 feet of solid object that there is, you know. While you're in this giant mode, your weapons don't grow to you, so all you have is your unarmed strikes, and you can do damage. You have a 15-foot range with that. That's fun. Obviously, you can't use spells, but you can use abilities. So, might want to look into that. That could be fun. Again, we got giant's abilities. It must be replaced or put into your ability slots. The moment you turn into a giant, you can use reactions to kind of change your form of a giant. So you can turn into an armored giant, which your bones harden around you, and you take less damage. Explosive transformation. When you turn into a giant, you can use your reaction instantly to just explode. You can heal very fast, and you can regrow limbs. Again, there's some typos there, but there's it. Stomping grounds is fun. You kind of just crash into the ground, and in a facility around you, you get to make people go prone and take some damage. And bigger they get, you can use, when you're just becoming a giant, you use stamina to increase your height by a lot more. So, fun. A lot of things you can do with this. And now we're gonna go down to, oh, that's the wrong one. We're gonna go down to Almighty. Okay, Almighty is inspired by, I'm gonna be honest, it's just inspired by All Might. So All Might from My Hero Academia, you have this, you were prayed one day, or sorry, you were in danger one day, you prayed to a god, and now this god has given you this gift to become a muscular, large version of yourself at certain times of need. So the weaknesses, this is pretty strong, so the weaknesses are pretty not good, like at all. Weak form, whenever you're not in your almighty form, you take 10, you will do less damage, a lot less damage, and you take more damage. And you will also, every time a teammate goes down in a 50-foot radius of you, you'll take physical damage. So there is that. So what is the almighty form? It better be fucking good, you know? It better it better be fucking good to take those 2 weaknesses. As an action, you can transform into your almighty form. When this happens, a bright light comes from you, and white clouds form around you, and you grow 15 feet taller. You have huge muscles, and you have to say something that is 25 words or more to turn into this thing. Okay, so you do need to talk. The benefits: while you're in the form, you cannot drop to 0 HP. Right? You cannot drop to 0 HP. You can take as many hits as possible. It's really good to use this at a fight where you have a lot of stamina and you're at that point where you're at like 10 health or low. You just pop this off. You can't lose health. Well, you can lose health, but you just can't drop to 0. You just stay at 1. You take 10 less damage. You have advantage on all strength saving throws. You get a set 5 strength saving throw. Every turn that you are in this form, you can roll up to 3. Roll 3 different strengths. What does that mean? You roll 3 different strengths. So what's under strength? You can roll, you can re-roll different strengths. So if you roll, let's just say damage, roll damage, which is under strength in my D&D, which comes back again. You can re-roll it 3 times to get a perfect number if you like, or if you're trying to jump, whatever that may be. Your jump height is now 5 times the amount. So if you have a base jump height of whatever it may be, 10, let's just say 10 feet, it's now 50 feet. Yep. And also you can lift 100 tons. Now, searching this up, right, 100 tons is a lot. It's not as much as you think it is, either. You, at maximum, you're able to lift like maybe a 2-story house. That's pretty fucking cool. It's pretty fucking cool. Also in this almighty form, you can use your bonus action and attack to roll unarmed strikes and do damage and bleed damage. Every 15 damage you do will push a target back. Very cool. Almighty's abilities. a hero to all when you use this. Right when you turn into your almighty form, you can get some overhealth. Quick switch. When a target attacks you, you can quickly switch into your form, and you can't be dropped to 0 health points, and then you quickly go back. Super jump. Your now jump is 10 times the amount, so that 50 is now, I think, 10 times is 100 now. So yeah, there's that. Body bulk. You take 10 less damage and get 3 strength for 3 turns, and then power punch is very strong. You do a large amount of damage with a single punch. So fun. The only thing is with this one is that every single turn that you are this almighty form, you use 20 stamina. That's at higher levels, it's really, really good depending on what class. Like, I would think that, imagine you're a bard, right? And you're a support class, you're supposed to be staying in the back, not taking too much damage, you know. And then when your whole team is, you're out of mana, whatever it may be, you know, you have some stamina left, you turn into this almighty form and you just go hog wild. I mean, you just go absolutely loose. Instead of just playing music, you're now this thing. Now, also, the good thing about almighty is that you can use spells, right? And you can use abilities while you're in this almighty form. All the upkeep is you use every round that you're in this almighty form, use 20 stamina, right? So you do whatever you must with that. But body modifiers, very cool. Those are just 3. I want to keep things exciting for you guys, so I won't tell you the other ones. There's I will click on some of them just so you can see what they might entail here, and I'll just, you look at that real fast. This real fast, but that's it. I won't show you anymore. Just so you guys, when you guys open up this website, there is a bunch of shit to look at. The classes, I feel like, need to be broken down a little bit more, just in case, so you know what you want to play. Again, I'm gonna have like 25 classes when we release this. I'll show some more. And the next log is going to be a little bit more boring than the next log, just because we are going to be looking at races and what I've done with those. I think that's exciting, but it might be boring to you because body modifiers are new and classes are always exciting to see what they look like now in this new edition, which I don't know what I'm calling, but it's here. So that is all for today. I don't know how long this video is at all, so that might not be good. If I can, I will cut it down. If not, sorry that you have to listen to 40 minutes of me talking. I hope it's not 40 minutes. I thought I was talking fast, but maybe I wasn't. But I'll see you guys next week in the next vlog. Have a good day, and stay cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, bye-bye.